The amount of stuff I've learned this past year through my own experience of making a fair bit of money. I wish I learned this stuff in school.
Have you made any big mistakes at all?
Yeah, I have made a big mistake. This one time, excitement took over. I just signed it. Bit idiotic. The day you start lifting is the day you'll never be satisfied. I'm more insecure about my body now than I was when I was that really skinny guy at 15.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Like Father Like Son podcast. Today we have the most famous skinny boy turned muscular man in the world, Joe Fazer.
Woohoo! Thank you for having me, boys. Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. Oh, and also, if you get a little bit peckish, I know you like a little bit of pasta and a bit of pesto.
They've done their research.
There you go. Yes. So that should keep you going. I don't want you to go hungry there, Joe.
The one thing is red pasta. No, red pesto over green pesto any day.
Okay.
Just for future reference.
Okay, we had some red one downstairs, but we chose that one.
The red has a bit more calories, that's why. Thoroughly appreciate it, nevertheless.
So what is the story behind the pesto?
Well, obviously when I was a bit younger, I was the skinniest guy ever. I was about 6'3", weighed 50 kilos, and I was like, right, I need to bulk up. So I went into Lidl, which is where my family always shopped, and I just spent an hour looking around at the back of all products at their calorie count. And I came across this beautiful thing called pesto, and they had the green one and the red one. And I looked at them. The red one had tons more calories.
I think the red one has sun-dried tomatoes in as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's about, I believe, like 850 calories a bottle.
So if we had to sum you up, Joe, in sort of 30, 45 seconds, something like that, what are you all about?
I'm just a guy who was very skinny, fell in love with the gym, and my life kind of revolves around trying to get bigger, trying to bulk up. And I really enjoy it. That's pretty much all there is to me. A gym rat.
And you kind of turned your hobby into a business as well.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect to what you do.
Yeah, that's why I really love what I do, because I mean, even if YouTube wasn't there, for me, I do YouTube videos as well, for people who don't know. Even if YouTube wasn't there, I'd still be doing the exact same thing.
So when you say you were skinny, I mean, we're a similar height. I'm actually an inch taller.
Yeah.
But we are a similar height.
And
when I was at school, I used to get all the old lanky beanpole and all this sort of stuff. So I'm sure you got similar. Yeah. And you used to be able to play the xylophone on my ribs. So were you at the same sort of state as that?
I've never played the xylophone on my ribs, but I probably could have if I tried, yeah. But like I'm sure you can understand, when you're this young and you've grown this fast, you just stretch out.
Yeah.
You become very skinny.
So did you have like a big growing spurt at once? Yeah, I did,
and my
as
body
well.
just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
Naturally, so there's there's three types of body types. There's the ectomorph, the mesomorph, and the endomorph. I'd say you're like a mesomorph, and that's kind of in the middle. Yeah. So kind of average height, can be a bit tall, can be a bit shorter, average build. There's the endomorph, which is like the fat people who find it hard to lose weight, and then there's the ectomorph, which is like me, who's skinny people who find it hard to gain weight. So I'm sure we were in the same ectomorph position, but yeah.
Well, I know for sure that your first videos really motivated quite a lot of people. Even it motivated our editor over here, Sam.
Sam's a legend.
So was it actually your first video that blew up, or did you have videos before that and that's now just the first video on your channel?
I've been doing YouTube since like 2012, just with different accounts.
See, I was really jealous. I was like, wow, look at it, the first video, 30 million views.
Ever made. I've made probably 10, 15 channels before that. So with me, if I got into a hobby like skateboarding, parkour, magic, but yeah, if I got into a hobby, I would make a YouTube channel out of it, and that's where I learned editing. So I've been on the same editing software since 2012, which is Sony Vegas Pro, up till now.
So you're still using it now?
Still using the exact same software.
Yeah, it seems quite a common theme when we talk to people that, you know, what can appear an overnight success generally is nothing like an overnight success. It's years and years of work, isn't it? And the good thing is when you're young, you can put that work in anyway, because it's almost free time, isn't it, that you can invest into what is going to become your future. So it seems like you've done very, very well there.
Yeah, why do you feel that video was so successful, and was that your first real banger?
Yeah, that was my first ever like proper big video. I mean, I think it's on like 29 million views now, something like that.
Crazy.
The reason I would say it was successful was when you see transformation videos. In general, transformation videos do well because it's a very motivational thing to watch. You want some motivation, you go watch a transformation video. But most of them, obviously, I'm sure you guys know how important a thumbnail is for a YouTube video. Most transformation videos show the before and the after. With me, I was like, well, if they already see the after in the thumbnail, they might not click on the video.
It's going to hurt your watch time, isn't it?
Yeah. So I just put the before photo, and as I was extremely skinny on the extreme end, it got an extreme amount of views.
Did you try and make yourself look worse than what you actually were?
No, I mean, obviously, well,
You're huffing and puffing a bit on that as well.
I found the photo where I looked the skinniest, but I was that skinny. There was no editing in it.
And what did that transformation mean to you? You know, because that's the thing, isn't it? It's that personal story.
Yeah, if we were to make a motivational TikTok out of this, then what did it mean to you? Let's dive deep.
I guess getting deep into, like, now it's just, I really enjoy it. But back in the day, I was at school and I got taken the mick out of a little bit.
Well, I can definitely fully understand that. It's hard, isn't it, at school when you're the tall, skinny lad, because you stand out and you're blooming skinny.
I mean, it's like in society, it's kind of, especially back then, it was acceptable to call someone so skinny. But if you said someone was fat, that'd be an outrage. But yeah, what it means to me, not trying to not sound cliche, it did change my life. Obviously,
it's quite cliche, isn't it?
That is very cliche, yeah.
About as cliche as you could get, really.
But if it's true, it's true, yeah.
I found something I love, and I'm making a career out of it. Yeah.
And as long as you're enjoying it, that's good. But what's the end goal? Is it all personal?
The end goal is to get massive.
Yeah,
to get
really,
absolutely massive. Yeah, I'd love
really,
to,
really.
Really.
Yeah,
but
100%.
don't you think that some people just get too big? I've seen a video where you go around and you ask girls like what body types they like, and they pick your one versus your mate. Is it Nathaniel?
Nathaniel Masai, yeah.
So why
He's
do you want to get
massive.
bigger if girls don't actually like that? Is it just for the
It's
guys?
It's the peacock effect, isn't it? You don't want to be a big peacock.
I don't do it for the girls. Like, obviously that helps, but I don't know. I think it can be unhealthy, like eating all of these calories every day. A lot of people take it too far and they start taking anabolic steroids because the addiction becomes.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get onto that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the end goal is just to get massive. I don't really know how to explain it. I'm just addicted to getting bigger.
So is that a mental thing that that you want to get big? I mean, is that just to satisfy something in you that looking in that mirror,
diving deep, aren't you?
Yeah, that you look right for your eyes, as it were, or what's the drive? Do you think?
I think it's always been because I've always been skinny and I've always struggled to get big. It's the common saying of you want what you can't have. So I really want to get big. I think if I was born average, like as a mesomorph, and I looked normal, not super skinny, I don't think I'd be as passionate about getting this big.
And what age are you now?
19.
Okay, so you've stopped growing upwards, so you'll never be as tall as me.
Unfortunately not.
So the good thing now is that you can actually bulk out, can't you? Once you've stopped going up, you all of it goes on to that, I would assume.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Well, I'm obviously not going through puberty anymore. Well, 21's the official age of when you stop, but my metabolism's going to start slowing down, which means it'll definitely be a lot easier for me to gain weight.
We interrupt this podcast to bring you a special message from Public.com.
Public are a low-cost brokerage that doesn't route your order flow, which means you're always getting the best price possible. They always put the customer first, and the app is super easy for buying and selling stocks.
And they're also giving you a free stock slice worth between $3,000 and $1,000 when you use the link in the description. Okay, well, one of the videos I watched of yourself was going around one of the bodybuilding competitions, asking people if they're natural.
That's the first video we watched.
Or if they're not natural. I was actually quite surprised with their honesty, to be honest. It was like, would you admit to that? I don't know. A lot of people don't do that. I mean, if you ask Michael Jackson before he died if he'd had any facial surgery, he said no. That they all lie about it, and yet they were all really quite honest. Was that quite a shock?
It was a shock, yeah. To preempt, steroids aren't illegal to own or illegal to purchase. They're illegal to sell. So these guys weren't breaking the law by saying,
They
were
use
doing
them.
these drugs. But in general, the people who lie about their natural status are people of influence. So these guys with a lot of followers because they want to sell their training programs. So if they secretly inject steroids and get big and then say to their audience, hey, I've got this big from my training programs, they're not telling them about the steroids they've been taking. They're just showing them the training. They're obviously going to make a lot more money.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people do lie about it. But yeah, I was extremely shocked in a good way about the honesty.
Well, I think the honesty is generally always good, isn't it? And but would you consider going down that route? I know you did a bit of an April Fool, didn't you? Saying,
yeah.
and that took me in. I didn't watch it all, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh, blimey, he switched. That's a shame.
He even said to me, he's not natural anymore.
Yeah, I thought, well, that's a bit of a blow.
Do you find a lot of people actually do that? They just look at the thumbnail and they don't click it because the click-through rate's what, 10% or 15%?
Yeah.
So all the other people might just believe it.
I was getting a couple of DMs like, I can't believe you're not natural anymore. But in general, most people...
The people that matter, maybe. watched
Exactly,
it.
the viewers who are actually proper viewers. Yeah.
So that brings to the big question: would you consider it?
Would I consider? I've said this openly. I would consider, but not at the age now.
Yeah.
If I was to ever do it, I would obviously be transparent about it because, if anything, it's just immoral to lie about that. I just want to be honest. At some point, maybe, I don't know. I need to see in like 5 years if I'm still as passionate.
Well,
about
there is
it.
a point where getting fit becomes being unfit.
Yeah.
Looking good but unfit.
100%.
And obviously there's long-term problems with steroids and steroid abuse. So I don't know if you want to fill us in on that because I'm sure you'd know some of that.
Obviously, steroids aren't healthy. And like you said, there's a point where when you look fit, these guys who are super ripped and super shredded, they may look fit, but in reality they are extremely
They
unhealthy.
couldn't run 100 yards.
Yeah, I can't run 100 yards. So.
Really?
No, I'm joking. But so steroids. I to be honest, because I obviously haven't done them myself, I haven't looked into the extreme side effects of steroids. But I know that you can have heart problems.
Yeah, it's not good on your heart.
There's been many deaths recently in the bodybuilding world of heart attacks from people who have just abused steroids. But yeah, like I said, when you get to this super low body fat, which obviously looks amazing, and this is all you see on your social media pages, this shouldn't be what you should look up to.
Yeah, that's the thing. I watched a documentary the other day all about Gymshark and the criticism they're getting with this unrealistic body image that they're putting out.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, what do you think about all of that? And how do you compete against these guys that are injecting performance-enhancing drugs? And you're selling a program yourself, I believe.
Yeah.
So how do you stand out in a marketplace that's flooded by these unrealistic body images?
Yeah, if we're talking from a business side on how I stand out with the programs, I think it's because people know that I'm honest, and some people believe these guys and some people don't, and I think I'm driving sales from the people who don't believe these guys. I just with my programs, I sell what's worked for me, and some people, that's what some people want to buy into.
And do you think you could spot straight away whether someone's natural or not natural, or do you think so someone could get there if they put the effort in, or do you think there's a point where you couldn't get any further?
When your biceps have got biceps, surely then you can see.
Yeah, like obviously for some people, it's very, very obvious. So there's something called an FFMI scale, where if someone's over a certain amount, you know, like the BMI scale.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but with muscle mass and fat. It takes all that into account. If someone's over a certain limit, it's pretty much impossible for them to be natural. So you'll see big guys like Chris Bumstead. You guys don't know these people, but some of the viewers may. Chris Bumstead, Big Ramy, Phil Heath, these big bodybuilders. But there's a lot of people who look like your average person who are taking stuff. There's side effects you can get from anabolic steroid use, such as gyno, enlarged stomach, all of this sort of stuff. But no, you can't.
So would you say, I mean, back in my day, the most ripped guy was probably Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know he's not now, but probably...
He is all right still.
Yeah, in my time. So we're looking at his older pictures when he was like Mr. Universe, things like that. Would you think he had taken enhancements?
With him, you could almost certainly say he was on steroids with a physique like that. Maybe the top elite genetically gifted people could get that naturally. It's very unlikely though.
So you don't want to go down that road, do you? Really?
So if you walked into like an average gym,
Yeah.
what percentage of people do you think would be on performance enhancing drugs?
I'd say 1 in 10.
Yeah.
If you went into, it depends what gym you go into. If you go into a commercial gym, it's a lot less because it's just average gym goers. If you go into one of these kind of badass rough gyms, I would say 40, 50, like maybe 50% of people are on steroids. It's more people than you think.
So looking at obviously your business, being as we are pretty much a business-based channel, looking
Yeah.
into interesting people and how they make their living and
Thank
how
you,
they
I'll
run
take
their
that.
business, how does your ad revenue break down on in the fitness niche? Is it fairly high or is it?
Yeah, it's relatively high. Obviously, different channels make different when it comes to ad rates. So financial channels, they get a lot more per views than fitness channels do.
Yeah, and car videos seem to get quite a good ad revenue
Do
as
they?
well. Yeah.
Dad's thinking about starting a car channel.
Well, I
aren't you?
like
Yeah.
cars, so it
can
almost
tell.
fits
Yeah.
quite
I can
nicely.
tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I make a fair amount from that. I'm getting quite a lot of views. My videos are under 8 minutes. The majority.
Well,
of my
that was
videos.
our next question.
Yeah.
Why do you not make any videos over 10 minutes? Because we'd sort of noticed that as a bit of a
Yeah.
trend. Is that
It's
a
8
deliberate
minutes,
one?
It's 8 minutes now.
Yeah,
not
because
10
you can have the
minutes.
double ad, can't you?
Yeah. But with me, when I watch YouTube videos, I like them short and sweet. I hate when I have to sit there and they're like, before this video starts, blah blah blah. I don't want to listen to that.
No.
Yeah.
My attention span is so short, and especially with TikTok becoming a massive thing
Yeah.
recently, all viewers' attention.
Yeah,
span's
I really like
short.
how you flash up the text when you're talking as well. It gets you kind of watching. Doesn't
That's
it?
what I
Yeah,
like
keeps
to
you
watch.
watching.
That's what I like to watch. So I want to put that onto my channel. I don't want their attention to be lost. So I notice that I have very high watch time for the length of my video.
That's probably that experience of having done YouTubes for so long that
Yeah.
you've gained that knowledge, haven't you?
Yeah, but do you guys know what I mean? Like, if you're watching a video and it's something so simple, but they make it like a 25-minute
Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
it's just it's rubbish.
Yeah. What is your watch time like on your videos?
It's 70, 80%.
That's very high.
Decent, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you could you reveal how much money you're making through AdSense?
Yeah, I can. I don't really mind saying.
I think you've made a video about it before.
I have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's already out there.
Do you want me to get up this month?
Well, just an
Yeah.
average month. You can get up the month.
Just an
or
average-
just an average month. Yeah.
I mean, it depends. But
Yeah, I know it varies more
it
than
varies.
people would think.
Yeah, probably £12,000
Okay,
a
yeah.
month.
Do you reckon you could triple that if you made 8-minute?
If I made
videos?
8-minute videos, so I was speaking to someone who I get about quadruple the amount of views, and he's in the fitness world as well, and he makes more off ad rates. So if I did make them longer, which I don't want to do, because I'd rather the videos be enjoyable to watch, I can make a hell of a lot more. Yeah.
It's just a balance between like art and business, isn't it?
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But I feel like there's two ways to look at it, because if I start extending these videos and making them really long, then I could lose my viewership, which ultimately will lose money.
And
as
what
well.
about the TikTok side of things? You're obviously on there as well. So
Yeah.
what's your following on that?
My following on TikTok's like 80,000.
Okay. So building, I'm assuming.
I don't really use TikTok enough. That's the problem.
Okay.
I just use TikTok to like. It's good for gay girls. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, that's a strategy in itself, isn't it?
yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, my YouTube audience is like 99% male people.
Yeah.
But on TikTok, it's like 50.
The other way.
We
Yeah.
find the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
On the Mark Tilbury TikTok, it's
Yeah.
50-50,
Is
whereas
it?
the YouTube
Yeah.
channel is like 98% guys.
Mark's got a lot of fangirls.
Yeah. So would you say that what you're doing is a viable business that anyone could do, or how would you think someone watching this that's interested in getting into the niche could start?
Yeah, it's definitely something anyone could get into. I mean,
Obviously they've got to grow tall and skinny first.
It does help to have a good story, though, doesn't it?
I feel like it does help to have a
transformation.
good story, because I mean, there's thousands and thousands of guys on YouTube and TikTok who are a million times bigger than me, but people follow me more for my journey, not just how big I am.
And for the entertainment value of your YouTube, I'd say as
Yeah,
well. 'Cause
100%
I
I
find
think
them
that helps.
entertaining. And
Thank you very
I'm
much.
54 and they're still entertaining.
We
so-
watched them during our lunch break,
Yeah.
actually.
Sweet. Yeah, no, obviously entertainment. Anyone can get into it, but you need to have a lot of with fitness. It's not something that you can do in 20, 30 days. It takes years and years to build up knowledge, to build up a good physique. But if I were to recommend someone to start, just start by posting your journey, because people love watching that. I do anyway.
Yeah, so I've got a personal trainer at the moment, and he went from quite a big guy now to quite a toned guy.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be for him, like step by step, what he could do to actually grow his
channel?
Yeah, at the moment he doesn't have much of a social media. He's posting a few TikToks, but he mostly fills his time with one-to-one work and working with clients. But there's only so much you can do that, and then your time is, you can't sell any more of your time.
Yeah, he needs to get on the socials. My recommendation to him: make a transformation video. If he's already that far, like, and he's made the transformation,
the pictures are quite cool as well.
Exactly, they pop. You get before and after. People want to watch that.
So would you say do that on YouTube like you did?
Do it on YouTube, do it on TikTok,
Everything.
post multiple times the transformation with different music, and one of them will pop, and that'll build up your initial audience.
There you go, Tom. If you're listening to this,
Trainer Tom.
But
obviously a lot of people are interested in getting fit, and they don't get off the couch, so it's not going to happen. But for those that do, obviously there is an expense to getting fit and bulking out and bodybuilding. So I know Curtis spends quite a lot on food.
So some of my meal preps are like $70 to $80 per week for this food that comes in. It's only 5 lunches as well.
For $70-$80?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'm getting ripped off, maybe, but it is very good.
They are nice
food.
meals,
they
though,
are
and
very
they're
nice.
high protein.
Yeah, and do you just chuck them in the microwave then?
Yeah, 4 minutes. That's the thing, like when we're working up here, I
convenience.
can't go and cook something. I just need to chuck something in that's good food and not go down to McDonald's.
I'm the exact same. I have a meal prep company, which is nowhere near as expensive as yours.
What company do you go with?
Jimmy. This is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just saying.
But hello, I wouldn't mind being.
Give me one, yeah. Something called Jimmy's Kitchen.
Okay.
And I'm the exact same as you. I'm on my PC editing all day, and I don't want to go and make a meal, so I just chuck this in the microwave.
Yeah.
But it's not like a microwavable pack. It's like a healthy meal that you're just heating up. So meal prep's amazing.
So how many different options do you get with this company? This is turning into like an advert, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of options?
There's a fair amount of options. To be fair, I don't mind eating the same thing day in and day out. I more eat for fuel than for pleasure. But if I want to have a pack of sweets, I'll have a pack of sweets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Kai's really bad. Kai's our COO, and he loves sweets. And he literally brings so many in, and then we're eating sweets all day. It was just getting out of control.
Are you guys big fans of sugar? Like
now, I am. after.
Yeah, I'm not sugar. I don't like sugar much. No,
Good.
Definitely not.
Stay
I'm
like
more
that.
savoury. But then you see, I've got to fight off what could be diabetes time, couldn't it? You know, talking 55, 60. You know, you don't want to be hit with that, do you? So I'm quite careful on the sugars. I think so.
So another expense when it comes to like bodybuilding and looking good is fake tan.
Yeah, come on. What's happening there?
To be fair,
you've even got him going for fake tans now.
So,
and Sam.
It is
and Sam.
off now. But we went down there as a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, we watched a few of your videos.
Yeah.
Let's try out a fake tan.
Yeah,
and I think she thought we were a bit crazy down there.
They thought you were they thought you were a couple.
They did think we were a couple. And at one point, she was like,
"Oh, hello."
Yeah, she was like, "Be a bit careful because it can rub off on the bed sheets." And because Sam is living here, Sam almost said, "Well, it's okay because it's Curtis's sheets." But he didn't say
That's
it. So it's all
brilliant.
good.
That's brilliant. I can see from my point of view. Right.
But yeah, how expensive is it? And do you go for them a lot?
What, every week?
Okay, so I've got a spray tan tomorrow. So I've washed it all off today. That's why I'm quite pale today. But I tell you what, if anyone's watching this, you're going to take the mick, and I got taken the mick out of at the start for getting spray tans, right? But they are elite, okay?
Elite.
They are elite.
Yeah.
They look natural once you've washed it off, and not only does it make you look, let's be honest, it makes you look a bit more attractive. It accentuates the physique massively. You see these big bodybuilders who go on stage.
Well, they paint themselves brown.
No, they just coat and coat.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It looks rubbish.
It looks like mahogany.
But the reason they do it is still there.
Yeah.
And it's because it accentuates the physique. It shows the cuts. It shows the striations a lot better. Spray tans, boys. I can't stress enough how much I love it. I have this lady who comes around to my house and does it.
Yeah.
20 quid a week.
Okay, that's cheaper than what we paid.
And she comes to my house.
We have to get that sorted, Sam.
Would you guys ever do it again?
Well, Sam's talking about doing it again.
Sam, do it, mate.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about it. Was it before that natural video where you tried it the first time?
I did it initially as a joke and as a forfeit for a video.
Right.
Because I had the same concept. I had the same opinion as pretty much every guy out there. Like, why would a guy spray tan?
Yeah.
But then when I actually did it, I was like, God damn, I'm addicted.
But it only lasts, 12 days or so? And sometimes not even that. Like, what is the ROI on it? That's what we're thinking. We're paying £27 or so for us.
Yeah.
I think, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely pulling, isn't he?
Every week.
Yeah.
I get it every
So
Friday.
why not just go to... We were thinking about going on one of those sunbeds and getting that
Yeah,
instead.
but that's not good for you.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
bad
well,
for
that's
you.
what I was thinking.
It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
bad for you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the main thing. It's just really bad for you. I think spray tan. I think the colour of spray tan's also a lot better, personally.
So going back to sponsorships, you've signed for I think it's Mr. My Protein.
Mr. Protein.
Yeah, I nearly went Mr. Protein for My Protein.
Yeah.
So how does that deal work for you? If of course if you can say.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say how much I'm making from them, but
Yeah, how did it come about and how's the deal structured?
it came about 2 years ago when I was in sixth form, and they just messaged me through email, and I was like, oh my God, I've been using these guys' supplements
Yep.
for so long. With me, I don't want to accept a sponsorship just for the sake of accepting a sponsorship.
You're just like us. Just
Yeah.
like us, isn't he, really? Because we won't do
I'm
just
sure
anything.
you get loads and loads of
So many.
emails
Yeah.
about it, but I would only do it if it's something that I thoroughly believe in. And I know a lot of like, I hate this word, but a lot of influencers say that. They say, oh, I'm only doing this because I like it. I genuinely, I've probably accepted 2 external sponsorships in the last year.
Well, that's the way to do it though, because we like to lock in two separate like sponsorships.
Yeah.
We got crypto, we got FTX, they're
Yeah.
great, and public as well,
Yeah.
for stocks and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, we feel like it's a lot better than getting a different sponsor every week and looking like you're just
So
selling
we've got a
yourself
really
out.
good relationship with them that way as well. And,
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to sell yourself out. That's for sure.
Exactly. Like, you see some people bloody promoting like car air fresheners and stuff, and it's like,
There's no
what
synergy
is
between
it?
that and
Yeah,
their
like,
brand, is there?
Exactly.
I think selling out ends up to you sort of selling out your career, to be honest, and your career will be down the pan before
Couldn't
you
agree
know
more.
it.
Well,
you know.
I think that people who do these like loads and loads of sponsorships in the short term, they'll get a fair bit of cash, but long term, the viewers will start to realise they're selling themselves out.
And of course, you've got to have some sponsors because at the end of the day, all this equipment, costs money. We need to live and all the rest of it. And I think this, as long as the viewers realise, look, we've got to have some form of sponsorship coming in because the channel doesn't run itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And I imagine
It's
if you're
finding
only
the balance.
if you're only doing a couple, then your like conversion will be much better because you're always pushing the same thing.
Yeah.
And if you're pushing something different all the time, they're going to stop believing you, aren't they?
Exactly. If anything, to be fair, I just chuck it at the end of each video, like, oh, by the way, if you want to use my code at My Protein, use that. I don't like, because you know how we were speaking earlier about how my videos are really short. If I chuck a sponsorship in there, that could be like 30% of the entire video. So it's just right at the end, I'll say.
We try and sort of interweave them so it's relevant to what we're talking about at that moment
I
in
think that's a
time.
good way to
And
do it,
and literally, look, we've dropped a link down there. If you want to use it, pick it up.
Yeah.
It's there and
Yeah.
it's free money generally. So why wouldn't you? So it's always pretty good.
And if it's like a consistent sponsorship which you believe in, the viewers will appreciate that and they'll understand that.
What do they get for using your code?
37% off.
Okay.
Well, that's
So what is your
worthwhile
code
go,
again?
Isn't it?
Code Joe, Joe at checkout if you want to
Hey.
get some supplements, protein powder, creatine. Don't buy BCAAs.
Yeah.
They're a scam.
So you need to really do on there a Joe's pesto, don't you? And a Joe's
I want to
pasta.
get pesto protein powder. I think
Oh,
that'd be
all right.
amazing.
That's not a bad
Probably,
idea.
no, it'll probably taste horrible, but it'll be high calorie. So.
Yeah.
So how is the deal actually structured? So do they give you a flat fee every month and then that's it? Or?
So they give me a flat fee every month and then commission as well. So if I get more code uses, then I'll get more money. So that obviously incentivizes me to push my code
Like an
out
affiliate
more.
link. sort of thing.
Exactly.
Do you have a certain amount of deliverables every month you have to hit?
Technically yes, but I don't hit them and I'm still over succeeding when it comes to getting them sales and stuff. So they really are.
So all they care about is the numbers, really.
All they care about is the numbers and building a good relationship. They don't want to make it too formal. They want it to be like, hey, do you mind just chucking this on your story? And then it's a better bond between the two.
Yeah, we always try and under promise but over deliver.
That's the best way to do it. Yeah.
And then as long as the business is there for them, then that's great, isn't it?
Yeah. So moving on to maybe the business side more. I see you're selling workout plans.
Yeah.
How's that going for you at the moment?
That's going amazing. Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of people selling workout plans as soon as they start getting a bit of a following. It took me like 3 years on YouTube before I started doing that because
these are digital workout plans.
ebooks.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
So how long are these plans as well? Like
how long are they?
Yeah, so if someone was to buy it, like how many weeks is the training plan?
My how I say is once you start plateauing a lot on the plan, that's when you want to change.
Okay.
But it's not just
so it's just a rotational thing.
It's just it's the same thing every week, like split into 4 different days.
Okay.
But it's not just a plan. There's also nutrition advice. There's also training advice. On my shredding program, I speak about tanning.
Yeah.
As much as it sounds stupid because it makes you look more shredded.
Yeah. So how many different programs have you got?
I've got 1 bulking and 1 shredding, so 2 programs. Yeah.
Are you planning to build them out even more?
To be honest, there's 2 things. There's bulking and shredding. There's not much more to it. So in the future, my mind might change, but at the moment, I don't like we've been speaking about. I don't want to just seem like I'm scamming my audience just trying to make money out of them. I'd only want to do it if there's actually value there.
Well, the great thing with digital product, of course, is you can change it and adapt it if you want to anyway. And you haven't got to stock loads of stock, if you know what I mean, which is nice. Whereas obviously my business is bricks and mortar stores and warehouses and filled with product I've had to pay for. So the digital marketing route is certainly sort of like A star, isn't it? It's the way to be, definitely. Yeah. So 100%. It sounds like you're doing the right job there.
Well, hopefully.
Just got to find those other avenues to spring off of it as well that are good for your customer base as well, your follower base.
Yeah.
So how about dating then? You said about the old tan. So is it as simple as saying, fake tan, boom, I'm on a date? Because I know, you've got information on this as well, but,
Information on it?
Well, you struggle to balance work and dating.
I thought you were going to say I struggle to get girls. No, it is hard.
And obviously you're working hard, so, you've got a balance to have there as well.
Yeah, business
so, what's it like?
Yeah, all right. I'm actually going on a double date on Saturday. Just putting it out there.
What, with your mate or something?
With my mate, twins as well.
I thought you meant double date as in you and the twins.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I thought maybe you just select. No, you're both very nice.
No, but when it comes to this, like, I don't want to get in a relationship. I feel like it will jeopardize my business because if you heard this, like, it's very common. A lot of people get into relationships and then they start lacking at the gym. And also, I'm spending 5-6 days a week either editing or filming for YouTube. I just won't have time. The gym is my one true love for now. For now. But yeah, I'm the most anti-dating person ever. Like this double date.
So hopefully they're not watching this when they're coming on this double date with you.
So Joe is sworn to fun and loyal to none at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say that.
So with your training programs, at the moment, I assume they're just something you sell on bulk and you don't actually have any follow-up with that? Or do you have an interaction with them ever during the sale? Do they go onto your website? They obviously watch your YouTube videos, go onto your website, buy the program, and is that their customer journey done? Or do you then have a group for them that you talk to them after?
Like a personal mentorship or something like that.
That's what I was thinking. You could build it out into a one-to-many, like a mastermind or something like that.
That's a clever way to do it. At the moment, no, it's just they buy it, they get sent the thing, an email with the PDF on. But that's avenues I want to look down. That's why it's great to speak to people like you guys who know a lot about this.
Well,
do you keep their email as well?
Yeah, you could put a membership type club thing together, and obviously all that interaction and talking to each other, and then you're on there once a week or once a day or whatever to inspire. I think that would work very well.
A membership. They can pay a certain amount every month to be part of it, and then you can just dip in and out when you want.
I need to start taking. Genuinely, I do need to start taking notes because I am very bad at this sort of finding ways to make money out of the following I've
Well,
got.
that's okay. You don't need to take notes because you can watch the podcast. It's out every Friday, like Father, like Son. You can just re-watch it.
Exactly.
All the notes will be on there for you.
Exactly.
But are you actually keeping the email addresses of these customers?
I believe so. Yeah. I believe so.
So it's easy enough to then market
to them.
Yeah. And the ones that found great value in the kind of it's the first sale, I suppose, and then you can upsell them from there.
Yeah.
I think the thing that Curtis has found is because he goes to a personal trainer, it's that commitment that keeps him on it. And I think sometimes, I never had that when I wanted to do gym type work.
Yeah.
So, you thought, I'll start going. So you go for a week and then you go maybe 2 days the next, then you drop away and you can't be bothered.
Yeah.
But I think if you've got that personal connection, it makes a big difference to someone's commitment.
100%. Like I feel, I'm sure that you can see this. If you slack at the gym, you'll be like, oh God, what's my trainer going to think about this? So that makes you motivated to...
Yeah, and if I'm ever had the wrong technique or something, he's like, stop, we're not doing this correctly. You have to do it properly, which I love.
Exactly. So if someone's following my ebook, they might not get the right technique, so I can completely see that. And it's something I should definitely think about, 100%.
So obviously you're doing very well. You're doing very well financially as well as your personal profile and everything. So what are you doing in terms of investing and looking after your money? Not spending it all on fake tans, hopefully.
If I could, I would.
Should be putting up the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's thinking about it. I hope she's not watching this steps. So I have my personal account, and then I've made a business, so Fazer Limited.
That's very good.
Yeah, everything goes through the business. And I was speaking to Curtis in the car. I hate spending money through my personal account.
Yeah.
Because obviously tax rates are a lot higher.
Perfect.
My dad is the person who kind of helps me with this a lot. So once a week, I'm going around to his for about 3 hours and doing all of this sort of stuff.
I think you're saying your dad was a
financial
advisor. Yeah.
Okay, well that helps a lot.
I believe he is anyway. I'm not sure what my dad does. He's just very businessy.
He's not just taking a cut then.
No, he doesn't take a cut. He doesn't take a
That's
cut.
good.
So obviously, like, I put the max amount I can into pension.
Okay. Have you got an ISA?
I have, and I put the max amount I can
That's
put
good.
into the
Perfect.
ISA.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
What do you invest in within the ISA?
A bank account ISA, or have you got a stocks and shares ISA, or do you have
I've got a stock. My dad invests a lot of my money into the stock, so I send I believe 4,000 a month to stocks.
Okay.
And it did insane the last year, like 15%.
Yeah, it'll probably come back a bit off of that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But money's in there and it's doing well.
Yeah. And there's this thing called like LISA or Life.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
lifetime
Put
ISA.
into that. Just a lot. I'm putting a lot into non-taxable stuff. I sound so dumb right now. Typical gym rat.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but you do need to try and understand as much of it as you can, because then you know where it's going and what that money's doing. But it sounds like your dad's helping you a lot and putting the right things in place.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of people don't realise that $1 today is probably about $25-30 by the time you get to retirement. If used correctly. So it's huge money now.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the $1 you put in. Really, you're talking about what that money is going to become in the future. And you don't know how long a career is. None of us know how long a career is. And if you can get that set by now, it may be when you're 30, 35, you don't earn enough to be able to put anything more by, but you've put enough by that it's going to grow to the point where you need it, and that's really, really good.
I think so. Like with social media, you don't know how long this is going to last.
No.
But I think it'd be longer. It'd be longer for you and Dad, because you've got some kind of niche. You're not just, your personality isn't the only thing holding the whole channel up.
It's not just like unboxing a slime on TikTok for a million views, but I think that you have to take this into account, and that's why I want to do this with my dad, because I want to invest. I want to like prepare myself for the future. Yeah. For the inevitable, basically.
And the other thing about starting a business as well is not just your tax advantage there, which is huge.
Yeah.
Obviously, you might want to buy your own place. I don't know if you have as yet, but you need 2 years worth of decent books before you do.
Exactly. I'll speak to my dad about that.
Yeah.
I obviously want to get my own place because there's huge benefits to that. But I can't get I can't get a mortgage now because I've only got 1 year.
Same.
Yeah.
I've tried to get a mortgage, and I've got more years of books from different companies, but only one from the one I want to show them.
Is it?
And so you just make sure you don't switch the company halfway through.
It needs to be like consistent. That's what they want to see.
Yeah.
Mate, it's mental.
Even though you put in a big lump down, they're still. Oh no, we're not going to match that.
Even though you're making tons, you've not got the.
They only want to lend you the money when you don't need the money. It's so annoying.
And again, it's so tax efficient to borrow the money to do it because it's very cheap at the moment.
Well, me and Curtis again were speaking in the car on the way to.
Lots happening in the car.
He's actually when he comes and picks people up, I always say, don't talk too much because that's what the podcast is all about. And he don't stop, does he?
He's digging me out. Yeah.
Rabbit.
We were saying that we were like we can't say too much now, but we were saying about how I wish I learned this stuff in school. And I know you guys say about this.
We say it all the time. You know, it's just like the Jamie Oliver thing with the sugar and various other things that he goes on about.
Yeah.
If you just had half an hour a week in your last year of school, whether your last year is to 18 or to 16 or whatever it is, just half an hour a week. You know, the one thing you're going to do when you leave school is have to hold money, look after money, earn money, work with money. What do they teach you about money?
Nothing.
How to get your change, and that's about it.
And do you know what it is? Like, I'm very lucky that my dad knows a lot about it, but there's so many people whose parents don't know anything, like don't know much about it, and the amount of stuff I've learned this past year through my own experience of making a fair bit of money, like if I just learned that in school, I'd be a lot.
Yeah, I think you're a lot more switched on than I was at 19. So I think it is getting better. Like the social media side of things is helping people learn about finances a lot sooner.
You guys are
so
helping a lot of people.
All down to Dad. Yeah,
that's what it's all about. It's a passion project. You know, that's why we started this because you know the lads we were talking to they were just lapping this information up. And I know if they had a lesson at school when I was 16 for half an hour. That would have been my favourite lesson. It'd be like, you can do what? You can make how much? What's this all about? Yeah. I'm having some of that.
Exactly.
You know, and it's a brilliant thing, you know, knowing that early.
Compared to a lot of stuff in school, which is completely useless. Do you know what I mean? My brother's doing his training to become a doctor. So obviously school's amazing for him. But like I'd say 80% of it is complete nonsense of what you learn,
especially when you're younger, like geography, just colouring in
geography, RE. Well,
the trouble is I mean now I like geography. I like learning about different places. I go lots of places and all the rest of it. So now it's interesting. History, I quite like history now. You know, it's very interesting. But they take all the excitement, all the interesting parts in school out and go, and you think
this is what you need to pass the exam.
I used to fall asleep. I mean, like I love aeroplanes, particularly aeroplanes. I love cars as well, of course, but aeroplanes. And World War II, it was all about Spitfires and Hurricanes and Lancaster.
Yeah.
My God, that would have been the most interesting subject. Nah, boring. It was so boring.
Exactly. One of our courses in history was old churches and stuff like that. You could be learning about World War I, World War II, and you're learning about bloody churches. So dead.
Yeah. So obviously you didn't go to university. I also chose not to go to university and started my own business in the media space. Why did you make that decision?
So fun fact, I started my Skinny Kid Bulking Up journey, which is what made my YouTube channel pop when I was in sixth form, year 13. So I was vlogging in school, and at that point I was still going to uni. Then come, when was it? March, April time, boom, coronavirus, lockdown hits. Still planning on going to uni after this. I don't have to do my A-levels. I get given my A-levels. But then I start obviously
did you get given your predicted grades?
Yeah. But in lockdown I had tons of free time, so I start grinding YouTube videos. My YouTube starts popping off a bit, and then when it comes to making the decision of what uni do you want to go to, I'm like, well, maybe my YouTube's doing well. Let's take a gap year, and let's carry it on. So I took the gap year. It did even better. So I'm just carrying it on. I mean, I can always go back to uni. Yeah. I can't always go back to YouTube.
To this time, yeah. And the thing is, do you think you'll be better off 4 years down the road in massive debt, or how you're doing now?
How I'm doing now. I'm very happy with
You're in control, aren't you? You're in
the choice I
control of
made.
your own destiny, which
Yeah.
is a great thing at 19. So
I'll tell you that. I
what
mean,
were
we
you
can
going-
relate
yeah.
the exact same.
Yeah, exactly. What were you going to study if you did?
IT business management.
Oh,
So
really?
it was something like
I thought it'd be sports or something.
No. It was. I didn't even do PE for A level,
Really?
but it was something that I was okay at IT, but I didn't really enjoy it. It was just like I was like, well, what do I do as I'm growing up? Oh, I'm gonna go to uni because that's what you do. That's just what you do when.
don't you think that's a wrong mindset now that
yeah.
you got to go to university? You got to come out with 50 grand plus of debt and start your life from behind.
Like 80% of my friends all went to university.
My opinion is, unless you know exactly what you're doing, like you want to become a doctor or something like that,
You sound like me.
I think that uni's pretty pointless.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
It's a very expensive gap year gap 4 years having parties. That's how it appears to me.
Mate.
Unless it's a job specific that you absolutely love. That is your life, not what
It's
your parents,
important we
not what
say
your
that.
parents want to do.
Which is
what,
so common.
Yeah, which is what you want to do, where you want to be. Absolutely, 100%. You've got to go. And I feel maybe those people need maybe a bit more support from the government. No problem with that. But it's the kind of guys that go, don't know what to do. Take 4 years off at uni. I'll do a drama course.
Yeah.
And you think, really? Surely you're better off getting into the industry than starting. But I don't know because I've not done the uni route.
Do you know what the most common one is? It's people doing business management.
Nothing against drama, sorry.
What if there's a massive fan out there that's watching, that's doing drama?
There's just one person that's going to dig me out for that.
Yeah, your super fans
Yeah.
doing drama at you.
Yeah.
You've just lost your super fan. No, but the most common one is business management, which a lot of teens do because they want to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
it's so common.
I
that's
think
not
it
where you
sucks it
learn
out
that.
of you though,
Yeah.
doesn't it? It's
No,
like-
it does, but it doesn't help doing business management. People are like, oh yeah, I'm going to own my own business, so I'm going to go to uni and do business management. That's not the right way to approach it. Like, you own your own business, which is doing insane, and you didn't even go to uni.
Yeah, I just worked it out as I went along, and I think it helped me because I didn't know what I couldn't do.
Yeah.
So I just worked it out along the way.
Well, I think that if you're actually going through it yourself, you learn a lot more. So,
School of hard knocks, I call it. I left at 16 and went, right, here we go. And you know, as you've just said, everything's possible. You just got to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and also, I think for myself and Curtis, I don't know about yourself, but we're dyslexic. You know, so I think you find solutions more when you're of that mindset. And we just went, well, just do it, get it done.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing you can't learn.
yeah.
So how have you found like jumping into the business world and you know with the programs you're selling and all of that stuff?
Well, like we're speaking about, because I'm experiencing it firsthand, I'm experiencing the money coming firsthand, I'm more motivated to learn about financing and all of this sort of stuff.
Have you made any big mistakes at all?
Yeah, I have made a big mistake.
Oh, go on then.
I can't say too much.
Well,
But I went into a bad contract, basically.
Oh, dear.
Usually I get my dad to look over the contract. This one time, excitement took over. I just signed it. Bit idiotic.
So the haste got you into trouble, basically.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty common, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, as long as you learnt from it.
Exactly.
You know, it might be an expensive lesson, but if it's a lesson you've learnt from, you know, it's one of those things. That's business.
We're trying to resolve it now, but like you said, the amount I've learned these past couple of weeks as it's been going on about contracts, about everything, crazy. I'll never look at a contract the same again now.
Well, we always do a minimum of a three-way read on any contract we
That's
do.
an amazing way to do it.
Minimum. And if we feel lawyers or solicitors should be involved, we pull them in as well.
Yeah.
Because we always talk minimum 12-month contracts, and obviously that can be quite a lot of money involved in that.
Yeah.
So it's minimum three-way read, minimum.
I find that lots of these companies that start off like they're sending you a contract and you just begin working with them, they send you the standard one and they just try and get away with as much as possible.
Oh God.
So then you have to go through it. Like we went through these contracts that for our different brand deals for like 2-3 days, and we're like, oh my life. we don't think they're going to accept the contract terms that we're proposing. But they said no problem.
They
you know?
usually do.
Because they just want to send you off a generic contractor first.
Yeah.
And then you have to really dive into it.
It was the exact same with MyProtein. So when I got my MyProtein contract, my dad looked at it and there was a lot that he wanted to change.
Yeah.
We sent it back and I was like, Dad, they're not going to do this. They accept it.
Never be afraid of making changes, because if it doesn't suit you, it doesn't suit you, and you've got to make those changes.
Exactly.
So
the best time to make the changes are before you've signed your name.
definitely
on it.
before.
Yeah. Otherwise, they've got no incentive to change it for you, have they?
Exactly.
It's like what you said in the TikTok the other day we made. Nothing is standard.
No,
have the confidence,
everything's negotiable. Everything. So anyway, thoughts on crypto, because we always try and
Thoughts
throw
on
that one
crypto.
in. Have you got some?
Nah, I'm the most clueless person about crypto ever. Are you guys big fans? You are big fans of
course.
crypto.
Yeah. Well, we're not as like massive fans. We had the Ecom King on the other day,
Yeah.
and he is big into Chainlink and all these other altcoins. But we like the Bitcoin, Ethereum, the blue chip ones. We just hold them. We don't
Like
really
the main,
do much.
The main ones.
Yeah.
Because I know nothing about it.
Bitcoin
I know
and
Bitcoin.
Ethereum.
And
Yeah.
I know Ethereum.
Yeah, they're the main ones.
and a bit of Chainlink,
Yeah, so
just for good measure.
yeah, I'm staking a bit now, which is quite cool. So you can get paid an interest level based on all your money, all your crypto that you put in there.
And that's just like free money then.
Yeah, I suppose like passive income.
Well, it's hopefully stemming inflation, isn't it? So you're
Yeah.
making a bit of money, so your money's not losing money. It's almost like
about-
gold, sort of store of value.
Yeah, I wanted to do it with the business money. We got a business investment
Yeah.
in Bitcoin and Ethereum, but Dad didn't want to stake it.
I
did he?
don't want to stake it, because I feel that the interest rates are actually a bit too high, that it's a bit dodgy,
Yeah.
unsustainable. But I'm older, and that's why it's like father, like son, because there's always going to be two opposing views. So
Yeah.
as far as the business was concerned, I didn't want to stake the money, but Curtis, as an individual, obviously he can make his own mind up with that.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's
we
so
both
sick.
have to agree on something
Yeah.
if it's with the business money.
Yeah. That's so sick how you've got kind of like, I don't know if this is right, but you're more of a traditional view on where you should invest your money, and you're more like
Yeah, more the new.
the new kind
Yeah,
of
I am
generation.
into the crypto though, so it's not that I,
You
I
are
don't
down
look
with
at
the
it.
kids,
Yeah, I down, but it's it is a bit more worrying, because you can't physically see it, and I think that's the main worry people have got, that it's cryptocurrency is a digital currency, so it's very
It
difficult.
boggles my mind, mate.
But all currency is down to trust at the end of the day. I mean, who's to say that a $1 is worth $1? Well, it isn't, is it? It's falling in value. Well, it is worth $1,
Yeah.
but its actual physical value is less and less by the day.
Which
you
you're
know?
trusting the government, isn't
Yeah,
it? 'Cause
it's
it's
all-
not backed by anything.
Yeah, everything's about trust, particularly with currency. So.
But with cryptocurrency, it's quite cool because you're trusting in the blockchain rather than a government. So yeah, it might be a good idea to invest in a little bit.
I'll do some research
Yeah.
into it, but a lot of
Yeah,
the
you need
stuff
to understand
a
it.
lot of the stuff a lot of your stuff you just said about crypto completely doesn't make any sense to me.
But what you find is, once you start getting into the space, you tend to learn a bit more. It's like what we were saying before, lessons can be really boring, but as you get a little bit into it, you can go, oh, actually, that's quite interesting, and then you learn more because you're invested into it. It's a bit like normal investing, actually. I quite often buy a few shares in a company purely because it makes me tracking. It keeps my eye on the ball as to what they're doing. If I think they're going to do well or not sure, I'll just put a little bit of money in there, and whenever I bring up my portfolio, they're there, and oh yeah, actually, no, they look like they're going to be doing well. I'm more attuned to keeping an eye on them than just sticking them in a watch list.
It's like you're saying with starting business, you've got the money flowing in, you're more interested to learn about it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, any plans for the future?
Yeah,
Any
where's
exciting
Joe's
plans?
future?
That's Joe's future.
Yeah. What's the master plan? Like Elon Musk has a master plan for Tesla.
I don't know.
Where's your
just
master
go to
plan?
the gym, really. Yeah, just go to the gym. Try and grow my YouTube channel.
Get massive.
Get massive, mate. I sound so flipping boring right now.
But if you're happy doing that, then that's what it's
I
all
enjoy.
about. Yeah.
I did I got asked this question the other day. It was like, if you had to quit one, YouTube or the gym, which would it be? And I said YouTube. I'd quit YouTube without a
Really?
doubt.
Wow.
Without a doubt. So with me, it's just like, I want to grow my YouTube. I also just want to get jacked as well.
What would you do as a job though if you quit YouTube?
I'd become like a personal trainer or
Oh
something.
yeah,
Because
that makes
I
sense.
wouldn't like. Obviously, it would be worse if I made much less money. But as long as I'm going to the gym, I still think I'd be happy, and that's what it's all about.
So, time for my final question. If you could only invest in one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
Hard one, isn't it? Got to think about it a bit.
Anything in the world.
I'd probably say me.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit...
As in what, your YouTube channel?
Yeah, my YouTube channel, because I'm more in control. So instead of chucking it into the property market, which fluctuates, with me, I know that if I put the work in, which I will do, then that will succeed. And I'd rather be more confident about where I put my money.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll give you a good return on investment, won't it?
Hopefully
all the way back to yourself. Yeah. Okay, well that gives me time for my final question. And my final question might stump you a little bit, and you can take this whichever way you like. Look at that. I'm trying to get you prepared. So, when is enough? When
you're like the Hulk.
What do you mean in like general?
Anything, really. You can take it any way you like.
Okay.
Yeah, when is enough?
With the gym.
I thought you were going to go there.
You thought?
Yeah.
That is all my life is. But with the gym, there's never enough.
Really?
The day you start lifting is the day you'll never be satisfied.
That's quite a good saying.
I'm more insecure about my body now than I was when I was that really skinny guy at 50.
But that sounds ridiculous. Why is that?
Because body.
That's like people that have plastic surgery, isn't it? They do that. Oh, it's only my nose. If I can get my nose done, that'd be. And they do it, and they go, oh, my cheeks need a lift. Yeah. Oh, my lips need.
And it just keeps going and going.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you think you'll lose your kind of relatability with your audience if you got that big? I mean, Sam always says that he wants to be kind of your size.
Yeah.
And not any bigger than that because it's the perfect size.
I think you're right. Relatability is a massive part of my channel, but I won't be able to get that big. Just to clarify that, like genetically, like I've spoken about how important genetics are. I will never be able to become this big guy. It's physically impossible.
So you're always going to be unsatisfied.
I will come back to your thing. I will always be unsatisfied. It's never enough because you just, like I said.
So you're the first one that's ever come back with saying enough is never enough. I want more.
Does that keep you like striving for more though?
Yeah, it keeps me striving for more. It can be seen in two ways, a good way and a bad way. Because for one, it motivates me to keep going constantly, day in and day out. The bad way though, if I'm always unsatisfied, it's gonna screw up. Well,
that's got to be a mental thing because you're obviously you're probably not at a plateau now because obviously you're still bulking, but you know eventually if you can never grow to the size you think you want to be, you're going to plateau out, and that's going to be a bit of a mental stress.
Exactly, and I guess I just have to
get a decent shrink,
see what happens when that actually comes. But I think as I get older, I'll be less bothered. I'll be more concerned about my health and stuff like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, all the while you can stay natural. I say that was very good. I wouldn't go down those routes because long term they can't be good for you. And you know you want to have a happy long life. You know we're not here for long. You know 80 to 90 years if we're doing well. So we don't want to shorten that really, do we?
Mark, you've got to be on steroids there.
See how well jacked I am?
A bit of testosterone.
Yeah, I've got a body like a temple. Buddha.
He's wearing his tight fit shirt.
Yeah, I love it.
Right, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, and we will join you next Friday morning with a brand new podcast. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. Later.
In a bit.
Awesome, I actually enjoyed that. That was really good.
That's alright, wasn't it?
Well, that feels weird taking these headphones off.
Yeah. Keeps you right in the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.